What's up, brothers? Hope everybody's doing well out there. You want to know a subject a lot of people have reached out to me to make a video on, but I've never talked about? Passport bros. So I'm going to take a minute tonight to share my thoughts on this whole, I don't know if I'd call it a movement, I'd call it a lifestyle. Share my thoughts on the passport bro lifestyle. So here's where I'm going to start. Have you ever heard the saying, women don't care about your struggles, they sit at the finish line and they wait for the winners? I'm sure a lot of you have heard that, and a lot of you agree with that. Well, here's what you need to understand. This is primarily a North American problem. Maybe Australia, maybe, Western Europe, some other countries may experience this as well. But it's primarily a North American problem, the US and Canada. And this problem is that men are measured primarily by their status. So men are measured by their education level. Do you have your master's? Do you have a PhD? They're measured by their job titles, what you do career-wise. Are you a homeowner? How much money do you make per year? What's your social status in your community? These are the type of things that men are typically measured by in the USA. It's the way it is. Sure, you can have game, you can be good looking, you can have a mouthpiece, and that stuff will all help you get laid. But in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, if a man doesn't have status, he's going to struggle. That's the USA. That's the way we're built here. That's the foundation that this country was built on. It's free market capitalism. And you got to get in there and get busy if you want to get some attention. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The majority of men, I would say 90% of men, start out at damn near zero. They have no money. They have no status. They have nothing going on for themselves. They can get themselves in tons of debt to get a college education, eventually pay it off, and it'll pay off in the in the long run. But, it's going to be a struggle no matter what he does, no matter what path he takes. If he wants to run his own business, he's going to have to start it from the ground up. And it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of risk involved. So when people use the saying, women don't care about your struggles, they sit at the finish line and wait for the winners, that's what they're talking about. They're saying that when you start out as a man at the bottom, there's not going to be very many women checking for you. You might get laid a lot, but in terms of, the grand scheme of things, the big picture, women taking you seriously, there's not going to be a whole lot of options. Not until you make something out of yourself. Well, here's what's going on here, and here's how this ties in with the passport bro movement. Typically, now first of all, what the passport bros are doing is, they're going and they're taking vacations and trips south of Texas, and they're meeting women. High quality women, good women. And, they're no longer dealing with women here in America, and they're finding them there. Well, here's what you have to understand. Women that don't come from, this atmosphere that we have in the USA, where it's all about money and status. Well, these women are accustomed to seeing the men in their life struggle. They've seen their father struggle. They've probably seen their father do back-breaking labor, just to make ends meet. Most of them have. They've seen their brothers start out at zero and work their asses off and stay at zero for a long time and eventually maybe work their way up a little bit. And they're just used to the struggle down there. So typically women from countries that are not Western countries, they are willing to get with a man and go through the struggle with him. And actually help him become something. Be by his side. A ride or die chick that will still take care of him. While he's working his ass off, she'll cook for him, she'll clean for him. She'll be a lady for him, a good woman for him, a high quality wife for him. And, a lot of the guys that are living the passport bro lifestyle, I think they got tired of it. You know, when they were going through that struggling phase and nobody was checking on them. You know, eventually they said, screw it. When I eventually make something out of myself and I have enough money to do whatever I want, why the hell would I spend this money and these resources and my time and my energy and emotions and whatever on women that just weren't there for me when I needed them? You know, they weren't there for me when they could have really been there for me to help me. They could have helped me build this, but they didn't. So a lot of these guys are saying, look, I'm just going to go somewhere where I'm appreciated, where I feel appreciated, where I could have been appreciated the whole way. And that's what they're doing. And by the way, these guys typically aren't losers. Okay, a loser would be a guy who doesn't have the money and resources to go take vacation trips around the world and hook up with hot chicks all around the world and find himself a amazing, beautiful wife from a foreign country. Losers can't do that. Only guys that have established themselves enough to make those moves, they have the financial freedom to go out there and do that stuff. Those are the only guys that can make that happen. So anybody that's out there calling the passport bros, you know, losers and saying they just couldn't get by in the U.S., sure, I mean, for some of them that might be true, but I'm not concerned with that. You know, I'm not concerned with judging somebody based on whatever. I'm looking at the results. I'm looking at the formula, the strategy, and making sense out of it. And it does make a lot of sense. You ever had a real nice lady, beautiful to look at, easy on the eyes, from head to toe, can cook, can clean, and does so without even asking. It's in her nature to do that. You know, always down to have sex, always down to, you know, hang out with you. You're not even spending money. Just go sit at the park and, you know, just chill. She's down to do shit like that. Now, typically in the U.S., you don't find a whole lot of that. You can, like I said, you know, if you have a lot of game or you're good looking or you've got a mouthpiece or whatever, or if you have some status, you can make that happen. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not the norm. You know, it's not what we're seeing on the regular. You know, statistically speaking, it's an anomaly. But you go to these other countries, it just works. It just happens. And look, when you've had a taste of the good life, if you've been with a bunch of women that treat you like shit, let's start there. If you've been with a bunch of women that treat you like shit, and then you go and you find a whole different type of woman, a woman that treats you like a king, she's your perfect, ideal woman. You know, if you could build a woman from the ground up, that's what you would build. And you find her, and, you know, she's loyal, she's cool. Look, why would you go back? And it's not about hating on the women that we have here. I mean, hell, me personally, I would prefer the women right here in my own city. You know, they've always done well by me. I do well by them. So me personally, I wouldn't call myself a passport bro, but I do understand the appeal. And, you know, I think if you're a guy that finds parts of this video relatable, but you haven't tried it out, it might be something for you. I don't know. I'm not giving you advice or telling you what you should or should not do, but I do understand the benefits, the advantages. So hey guys, I suppose that's my thoughts, or those are my thoughts on the passport bro movement, or lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. Hope this video was somewhat informative, but that's about it for today guys. Until next time, see ya.